This episode is brought to you by Facebook. So you were scrolling on Marketplace, and there it was, the bike you'd been searching for. You sent a message, and it turned out the seller was super chatty, kind of funny, and an avid cyclist. The next thing you know, you're in a cycling crew. Well, a community cycling group. The thing about Facebook, you might find more than what you're looking for. From a browse to a bike ride, this summer find more on Facebook.
English with Us podcast.
Hello, everyone. I hope you all are doing amazing today. Welcome back to English with Us podcast. My name is David.
Hello, David. And hello, everyone. I am very excited about today's topic because deserts are such interesting places. When I think about a desert, I imagine a huge open area, bright sunlight, dry ground, and a very big sky. I have seen beautiful desert pictures with orange sand and high sand dunes, and I would love to visit a desert one day.
That is perfect, Emma, because today we will learn simple English for talking about in the desert. We will talk about desert weather, sand, plants, animals, water, clothing, travel, safety, and useful phrases people can use when describing a desert.
David, before we start today's episode, we have a quick announcement, right?
Yes, Emma. We're now posting the full transcript and study pack for each podcast episode on Patreon. Each study pack can help you review the lesson, practice useful English, and keep learning after the episode.
That sounds really helpful.
Yes, you can join us on Patreon for only $3.99 a month. The link is in the description. Thank you so much for learning with us and supporting the podcast.
We hope to see you there. Now, let's start today's episode. David, quick question. What exactly is a desert?
A desert is a very dry area that gets very little rain. Many deserts have sand, but not every desert is covered with sand. Some deserts have rocks, mountains, or hard dry ground.
That is interesting. I think many people imagine only sand.
Yes. A useful sentence is, the desert is very dry because it does not get much rain.
That is simple and clear.
Another useful sentence is, some deserts are sandy while others are rocky. Rocky means covered with many rocks.
Quick check, David. A desert is an area that gets very little rain, right?
Yes, exactly. That is correct.
David, is the desert always extremely hot?
No. Some deserts are very hot, but deserts can also become cold, especially at night. The temperature can change a lot between day and night. Temperature means how hot or cold something is.
So you could feel very hot in the afternoon and cold later that night.
Exactly. A useful sentence is, it is very hot during the day, but it gets colder at night.
That sounds like important information for travelers.
It is. Another useful phrase is, the temperature drops after sunset. Drops here means becomes lower.
Quick check, David. Temperature means how hot or cold something is, right?
Yes, exactly. That is correct.
David, why does the desert feel so dry?
There is very little rain, and the air may also have very little moisture. Moisture means a small amount of water in the air or in something else.
I imagine your skin and lips can feel dry too.
Yes, a useful sentence is, the air is very dry here.
That sounds natural.
Another one is, my lips are getting dry because of the heat.
What should someone do?
They should drink enough water and protect themselves from the sun. Another useful phrase is, make sure you have plenty of water. Plenty means more than enough.
Quick check, David. Moisture means a small amount of water, right?
Yes, exactly. That is correct.
David, let's talk about sand. What are sand dunes?
Sand dunes are hills made of sand. The wind moves the sand and slowly changes their shape. A dune can be small or it can be very large.
They look beautiful in photos.
They do. A useful sentence is, we walked across the sand dunes in the morning.
That sounds like a lot of work.
Walking in soft sand can be tiring. Another useful phrase is, the wind is moving sand across the ground.
Quick check, David. A sand dune is a hill made of sand, right?
Yes, exactly. That is correct.
David, are there plants in the desert?
Yes, desert plants can survive with very little water. Survive means continue living even in a difficult situation.
The cactus is probably the most famous desert plant.
Definitely. A cactus is a plant that can store water inside its thick stem. Many kinds of cactus also have.
This episode is brought to you by Facebook. So you were scrolling on Marketplace, and there it was, the bike you'd been searching for. You sent a message, and it turned out the seller was super chatty, kind of funny, and an avid cyclist. The next thing you know, you're in a cycling crew. Well, a community cycling group. The thing about Facebook, you might find more than what you're looking for. From a browse to a bike ride, this summer find more on Facebook.
Have sharp spines. Spines are the sharp points on some plants.
So we should not touch one without being careful.
Exactly. A useful sentence is, this cactus can survive in very dry weather.
And another useful phrase?
Be careful around the cactus because it has sharp spines.
Quick check, David. Survive means continue living in a difficult situation, right?
Yes, exactly. That is correct.
David, are there trees in deserts too?
Some desert areas have small trees or bushes. A bush is a plant that is smaller than a tree and has many branches close to the ground. Desert plants usually have special ways to save water.
So the desert is not completely empty.
Exactly. A useful sentence is, there are small bushes growing between the rocks.
That paints a nice picture.
Yes. Another one is, plants are harder to find in the driest areas.
Quick check, David. A bush is a plant smaller than a tree with many branches, right?
Yes, exactly. That is correct.
David, what animals can live in a desert?
Many animals can live there. There are lizards, snakes, insects, birds, and different mammals. Mammals are animals that feed milk to their babies.
And of course, camels.
Yes, camels are famous desert animals. They can travel long distances and handle hot, dry conditions very well.
Can we say camels are well suited to desert life?
Yes, suited means right or good for a particular situation. Another useful sentence is, we saw a camel walking across the desert.
Quick check, David. Suited means right for a particular situation, right?
Yes, exactly. That is correct.
David, what about lizards?
Lizards are common in many deserts. Some hide under rocks or stay in cooler places during the hottest part of the day. Hide means stay somewhere where others cannot easily see you.
That sounds smart.
It is a good way to avoid extreme heat. A useful sentence is, the lizard is hiding under a rock.
That is easy to remember.
Another useful phrase is, many desert animals are more active when it is cooler. Active means moving around and doing things.
Quick check, David. Hide means stay where you cannot easily be seen, right?
Yes, exactly. That is correct.
David, people also think about scorpions when they imagine the desert.
That is true. A scorpion is a small animal with 8 legs, 2 claws, and a tail. Some scorpions can sting. Sting means hurt someone using a sharp part of the body.
So people should look carefully around rocks or shoes.
Yes, a useful sentence is, check your shoes before putting them on.
That sounds like good advice.
Another useful phrase is, do not touch wild animals in the desert. Wild means living naturally and not kept by people.
Quick check, David. Sting means hurt with a sharp part of an animal's body, right?
Yes, exactly. That is correct.
David, water must be extremely important in the desert.
Absolutely. Because the environment is dry, travelers need to carry enough water. Environment means the natural conditions and area around us.
What is a useful sentence?
A very useful sentence is, how much water should we bring?
That is definitely something I would ask.
Another one is, we need to save some water for the trip back.
Good point.
Another useful phrase is, do not wait until you feel very thirsty before drinking. Thirsty means feeling that you need water.
Quick check, David. Environment means the natural area and conditions around us, right?
Yes, exactly. That is correct.
David, what is an oasis?
An oasis is a place in a desert where there is water and plants. It can be a very important place for people and animals.
That sounds almost magical in the middle of a dry desert.
It can look very different from the land around it. A useful sentence is, we stopped near an oasis to rest.
That is a great new word.
Another useful phrase is, there are trees growing around the water.
Quick check, David. An oasis is a place in a desert where there is water and plant life, right?
Yes, exactly. That is correct.
David, what clothes should people wear in a hot desert?
Light and comfortable clothing can help protect the body from the sun. A hat is also useful, and sunglasses can protect your eyes from bright sunlight. Protect means keep someone or something safe from harm.
Would you wear shorts?
Maybe, but I often prefer light clothing that covers more skin because it can protect me from strong sunlight.
That makes sense.
A useful sentence is, wear a hat to protect your face from the sun.
Another useful phrase could be, bring sunglasses because the sunlight is very bright.
Exactly.
Quick check, David. Protect means keep something safe from harm, right?
Yes, exactly. That is correct.
David, what does shade mean in the desert?
Shade is an area where direct sunlight is blocked. Shade can feel much cooler than standing directly under the sun.
So, finding shade can be important during a break.
Yes. A useful sentence is, let's rest in the shade for a few minutes.
That sounds very practical.
Another one is, there is not much shade in this part of the desert.
That is something travelers need to know.
Exactly. Another useful phrase is, we should avoid walking for too long in the strongest afternoon heat.
Quick check, David. Shade is an area protected from direct sunlight, right?
Yes, exactly. That is correct.
David, can the desert be dangerous if someone is not prepared?
Yes, strong heat, little water, getting lost, and sudden weather changes can create problems. Prepared means ready for something before it happens.
So planning is very important.
Absolutely. A useful sentence is, we need to be prepared before going into the desert.
What should someone bring?
They should have enough water, suitable clothing, directions, and a way to communicate if possible.
Another useful phrase could be, tell someone where you are going before you leave.
Exactly. That can be very important.
Quick check, David. Prepared means ready before something happens, right?
Yes, exactly. That is correct.
David, how easy is it to get lost in a desert?
It can happen because some areas look very...
This episode is brought to you by Facebook. So you were scrolling on Marketplace, and there it was, the bike you'd been searching for. You sent a message, and it turned out the seller was super chatty, kind of funny, and an avid cyclist. The next thing you know, you're in a cycling crew. Well, a community cycling group. The thing about Facebook, you might find more than what you're looking for. From a browse to a bike ride, this summer find more on Facebook.
Very similar. There may not be many buildings, roads, or signs. Direction means the way you need to travel to reach a place.
So people should know their route.
Yes. A route is the path you plan to follow. A useful sentence is, "Are we still going in the right direction?"
That is very useful.
Another one is, "Let's check the map before we continue."
And another useful phrase.
We should stay on the marked trail. A trail is a path people follow when walking.
Quick check, David. A route is the path you plan to follow, right?
Yes, exactly. That is correct.
David, what is a sandstorm?
A sandstorm happens when strong wind carries a lot of sand through the air. It can make it difficult to see and breathe comfortably.
That sounds scary.
It can be dangerous. A useful sentence is, "The wind is getting stronger, and there is sand in the air."
What should someone do?
They should follow local safety advice and find a safe place if possible. Another useful phrase is, "We should not continue until the weather improves."
Quick check, David. A sandstorm is when strong wind carries a lot of sand through the air, right?
Yes, exactly. That is correct.
David, the desert can be difficult, but it can also be beautiful, right?
Absolutely. Deserts can have amazing sunsets, wide open views, unusual plants, beautiful rock shapes, and very clear night skies.
I think seeing the stars would be my favorite part.
Mine might be watching the sunset. A useful sentence is, "The desert looks beautiful at sunset."
That sounds lovely.
Another one is, "The sky is incredibly clear tonight." Incredibly means extremely or very.
And because there may be fewer city lights, people can sometimes see many stars.
Exactly. Another useful phrase is, "I have never seen so many stars before."
Quick check, David. Incredibly means extremely or very, right?
Yes, exactly. That is correct.
David, what does the desert feel like early in the morning?
It may feel quieter and cooler than in the afternoon. The light can also be softer. Soft light means light that is not too strong or bright.
That sounds like a great time for a walk.
Yes, if the area is safe. A useful sentence is, "We started walking early before it became too hot."
That sounds smart.
Another one is, "The desert is peaceful in the early morning." Peaceful means calm and quiet.
Quick check, David. Peaceful means calm and quiet, right?
Yes, exactly. That is correct.
David, can we do a simple practice conversation about visiting a desert?
Yes, let's do one.
Okay.
Is this your first time in the desert?
Yes, it is. I did not expect the area to be so large and open.
How are you feeling?
I am excited, but the heat is stronger than I expected.
Do you have enough water?
Yes. I brought 2 large bottles and some extra water in my bag.
Good. Do you want to walk to those sand dunes?
Yes, but let's rest in the shade first.
That is a very natural conversation.
Yes, it sounds realistic and useful.
Let's do one more about seeing desert animals.
Okay.
Look over there. Is that a lizard?
Yes, I think so. It is sitting next to that rock.
Should we go closer?
We can look from here. I do not want to bother it.
Good idea. Wild animals need space.
Exactly. We can enjoy seeing them without touching them.
Excellent. Very simple and very useful.
David, what are the most important things to remember from today?
First, deserts are very dry places with little rain. Second, they can have sand, rocks, plants, and many different animals. Third, water, sun protection, and good planning are very important. Fourth, deserts can be challenging, but they can also be peaceful and beautiful.
That is such a clear plan.
Yes, English for this topic does not need to be difficult. You only need some useful nature words, weather words, safety phrases, and simple sentences for describing what you see.
That is really helpful.
Yes, simple English is enough to talk about being in the desert in a clear and natural way.
David, let's do a quick review quiz before the big summary.
Good idea. What is a sand dune?
A sand dune is a hill made of sand.
Correct. What is an oasis?
An oasis is a place in a desert where there is water and plants.
Excellent. What does survive mean?
Survive means continue living even in a difficult situation.
Perfect. What is a sandstorm?
A sandstorm is when strong wind carries a lot of sand through the air.
Excellent. That was a very long and detailed conversation about in the desert. Now let's have a quick review of today's lesson.
Today, we talked about simple and useful English for being in the desert. We learned that a desert is a very dry area with very little rain. Some deserts have large areas of sand, while others have rocks, mountains, and hard dry ground.
We also learned useful words like sand dune, cactus, spines, oasis, shade, route, trail, sandstorm, and temperature. We talked about desert animals too, including camels, lizards, and scorpions.
We practiced useful phrases like, make sure you have plenty of water, let's rest in the shade, wear a hat to protect your face from the sun. Are we still going in the right direction, and we should stay on the marked trail?
We also talked about how the desert can change during the day. It may be extremely hot in the afternoon and much cooler after sunset. Travelers need to prepare carefully, carry enough water, and pay attention to the weather and their route.
The big idea is this. The desert can be dry, hot, and challenging, but it can also be beautiful, quiet, and full of interesting life. With simple English, you can describe the weather, landscape, plants, animals, and your experience there.
Your final homework for this lesson: comment 1 to 2 sentences about the desert or whether you would like to visit one. Here are 2 simple example answers.
Example 1. I would like to visit a desert because I want to see the sand dunes and watch the sunset. Example 2. The desert looks beautiful, but I would bring plenty of water and avoid walking during the hottest part of the day.
Thank you everyone for watching and listening all the way to the end.
If you enjoy our podcast and would like to support us, you can find the donation link in the description.
Every bit of support helps us keep creating free English lessons.
Keep practicing, and we'll see you later in the next episode.